We are live with Lunch Break Live Chef Anthony. Let's get cooking.
Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make some stuffed peppers. One of the easier dishes that I make, and probably one of my favorite dishes also. So it's simple, yet great for when you're having company over. A nice wholesome meal that's good for you also. So let's get started. We're going to cut this pepper here in half, longwise. And then we're going to take out the seeds, and we'll just toss them here. I've got the oven set on 350 right now because we're going to pre-bake these. I actually got the oven heated about 20 minutes ago, so it's ready to go. We're going to put the pepper in face down. Go ahead and get one more. And while we're doing that, or while the pepper is cooking, just like this, we're going to throw in the oven. It's 350, and we're going to set it for 20 minutes, all right? Place it in the oven. And now while that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and start making the stuffing, all right? I like to use this cast iron grill, but if you have a non-stick pan, that'll work out also. I've got it heated on about medium heat right now. I'm going to show you a little trick that I just learned in the last 6 or 8 months, and that's to water saute. It's a healthier version, and I feel like your finished product tastes exactly the same way it tastes before with the olive oil. So a little, save a little money and a little better for your health. So it's real simple. I have a little water here waiting for us. I'm going to go ahead and put about a couple tablespoons in there, and then I'm going to get our onion. And we're going to start water sauteing it. Again, it's going to have the same browning effect as cooking it with olive oil. The secret to water sauteing is just adding a little bit of water if the onions start to stick or start to dry. But same effect. So while that's cooking about 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to wait till it gets translucent or soft. I'll show you some of the other ingredients that we have here. We have some garlic, which is going to go in next, couple tablespoons. Then we're going to throw some mushrooms in. I've got about a cup of mushrooms. I've got shiitake. I've got some portobello, but you can use just regular white mushrooms. I've got one zucchini here, all chopped. I've got them in small pieces because what we're doing here is we're duplicating my great-grandma's recipe of stuffed peppers. She stuffed it with ground beef. And as a kid, I remember just eating the filling. It tasted so good. As a kid, I didn't like the actual pepper, but I would just eat the stuffing. So I mimicked that same flavor. So that's why when you're chopping all your vegetables, make sure they're very small to be similar to the consistency of ground beef, okay? So couple more ingredients that we're using is I have some chopped olives. I use green olives today, but sometimes I'll use Kalamata olives. Today we're using farro, but you can use quinoa or brown rice, any kind of whole wheat. And then we're using cannelloni beans, which I buy in a bag for less than $2, or you could buy it in a can. But if you're looking to save a little money, buy it in a bag. Real easy, soak it overnight and cook the beans. Real inexpensive, healthy way of eating. You'll probably hear that a lot today. That's kind of my style. Then I've got some fresh basil and parsley. I like to use that. Any kind of fresh herbs in all of my dishes. And then I've got my tomato sauce here. You can use your tomato sauce. You can buy some store-made tomato sauce. You can buy Anthony's Eastside tomato sauce if you're in New York or Kansas City. All right, so these onions.
Hold on there, Anthony. We need to see this. You make your own sauce. This is your recipe from tradition. Can you please take us one of those jars? But I don't want you to burn those onions, but let's see this. Oh my gosh, everybody, take a look. Now, okay, everybody, Anthony's Eastside. We're talking tradition. We're talking years.
I'll go ahead and show you our Italian dressing here that we got all from the home-based restaurant in Kansas City. We just took out a couple of ingredients and added a couple of ingredients and made it all vegan. And I don't think we sacrificed any of the flavor, okay? So the
I think
onions,
you made the flavor even better. Anthony, the flavor's even better, right?
I
Conscious
love
free.
your style, Paige. I love how you think. So the onions are ready. They're a little translucent. So I'm gonna add a little water because it's drying out a little bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple garlic cloves that I went ahead and minced before we met today. And you could smell the onions and garlic sauteing just like they were sauteing with the olive oil. So again, I got this on about medium high. I turned it down a little bit because the cast iron grill gets pretty hot. So the garlic will only have to cook for about a minute until you can really start smelling that garlic. Make sure I get all that garlic. I usually put more garlic than each recipe calls for. So you could add less. It's all about what you like. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add the mushrooms. When you're sauteing the mushrooms, you don't have to add as much water because they'll go ahead and have their own natural liquids that'll start cooking out. And then we're going to throw in the zucchini. And we're going to let these cook with the mushrooms, onion, and garlic for probably about 4 or 5 minutes until the zucchini and mushroom become tender. And since I threw the zucchini in, I'm going to add just a little more water. And that's, again, the key to water sauteing is just adding a little water at a time, because the difference between water sauteing and steaming would be the amount of water. So we don't really want to steam the zucchinis and mushrooms. We want to saute them, you know. All right, so we got this.
Okay, now let's tell everybody how you grew up in Kansas City and you've taken this traditional from Anthony's restaurant, right? Your family restaurant, over to New York City, and now you are catering. You're bringing it to the office, the bunker, all the different places. Give us a little scoop while those things saute in there.
Yeah, well, I grew up in my mom and dad's Italian restaurant in Kansas City, Anthony's. My brother Vito is now owns the restaurant and runs it with my dad's guidance. And I grew up wanting to be like my dad, you know, wanting to be in the restaurant business, always in the front of the house, you know. And then about 15 years ago, I cut red meat out, started eating it once a week. And that slowly, after 15 years of small steps, brought me to a vegan diet and now a plant-based diet. And when I became a vegan, I decided I need to go into the kitchen and find out how these chefs and cooks are making such amazing food with ingredients that I've never heard of. I mean, how can you make anything without butter or without chicken broth or beef broth? So I worked for some of the top chefs, I believe, here in New York City that were making vegan food and then plant-based food. And then after a few years of working for other chefs, I decided to start my own catering company about 3 years ago. And now we've got Anthony's Eastside. We cook in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, and we cater throughout the city and other boroughs in the city. That's kind of it. We get tomato sauce and dressing in some of the stores. That's kind of a brief history of how we got here.
And now you have a vegan mayor as well, Eric Adams, who Healthy at Last, his book has been a bestseller, telling everybody his journey to go plant-based. I mean, it's incredible, Anthony. Wow.
It's amazing. Such a great time. I actually got to, about 3 years ago, I got to meet Mr. Adams at one of his local community events where he was teaching people in the community how to eat better and how to cure a lot of their illnesses with plant-based eating. So excited about him being a part of this city. It's such a great moment. You know, anytime we get frustrated about where we are with everything, something like this has to make everything just so much better, you know?
It's the best news ever. All right, back to the stuffed
peppers.
peppers.
All right, here we go. Let's finish this off real quick. We got the zucchini, mushrooms. I'm going to go ahead and throw the cannelloni beans in. I'm going to throw the farro in, the green olives, basil and parsley, a couple tablespoons, and then about a cup and a half of the famous tomato sauce, because you know it's all about the sauce, isn't it?
It is all about the sauce for sure. And the spices. I was thinking about how you were talking about when you grew up, you would eat all the stuff on the inside. And really, when you think about it, it's the taste, the texture, and the spices. It's not necessarily, the other. We're focusing here on the vegan plant-based in here. But yeah, so look at this. We got the spices, we've got the okay. Now I gotta ask you, do you ship nationwide? We gotta know.
We're working on it right now. We're in Kansas City and New York, and we're trying to figure out a way to be in more places, but hopefully soon.
Well, let's use this as a launch pad. Woohoo!
All right. So
this
is all ready to go. It's got the texture that you talked about. It's got all the flavors with the herbs and the spices and the tomato sauce. So now we're going to take out the peppers that were in from earlier, and these have been.
Anthony, can you show us how cooked they are? We'd like to see the peppers. Want to make sure we don't under or over. Ooh.
So, when you cook it with the ground beef, you cook the peppers for probably about an hour and a half. But now with the seasoning and the stuffing we're making it now, we only have to cook it for 30 minutes. So that's why we pre-cook the peppers. Our goal is to get these peppers so that you can just cut them with a fork, make them really tender. So 15 or 20 minutes before the stuffing. And then once the stuffing goes in, another 30 minutes. And then what I like to do is maybe get a fork or a knife after the 30 minutes, give it a little cut and see how tender they are. Because you could always cook them more. You're not going to overcook them, They're only going to taste better with all the flavors marrying each other, So I've got some stuffing that I made earlier. And let me get this a little closer to the camera, maybe. This here. And we got the peppers here. And then stuffing it. Can you see that?
Yes, we can see. We can see. Great. We love it. We love it.
Now we're going to just stuff these peppers. And we'll stuff them pretty full. Just like this. And you've got a nice, easy meal that has, your bean, your whole wheat, your vegetables, everything all in one. It's pretty simple to make. And it's one of my favorite meals. I think you're really going to enjoy this. So we'll finish stuffing it. And then we'll top it off with a little bit more of our tomato sauce.
Yes, I think your family is going to be so proud of you. You have up-leveled this dish to the next level. Look at this.
All right, so now we're going to top with a little tomato sauce. And then the oven's already ready for us, so it's on 350. We'll cover it with a little foil. And the recipe that you'll have will be enough for 4 peppers, 8 halves, but you can cut this in half or make more however you like. I just made a smaller meal for today. And with the magic of your television, we're going to pull out the peppers that are already done. And are you ready for this?
Yes, please.
There we go. We've got our stuffed peppers. Now we're going to plate them real quick before we go, because that's the fun part. We got a nice plate here. I've got some basil and parsley here that I didn't cut. And we're going to put one. Now, when I eat these, I eat 2, but maybe you only need 1. We'll go ahead and plate 2 of them. So we'll plate them. We're going to top them off. I really love my tomato sauce. A little more tomato sauce. And we're going to put a little basil and a little parsley. And this is it. This is great for the holidays, great for Sunday dinner, great for birthday parties, or great just for a Monday night, being home, enjoying a little football. There we go. Some stuffed peppers, fresh basil, fresh parsley. Yeah, that's it. Nice and easy, right?
Nice and easy. This is so exciting, everybody. Are you taking a look? You can always watch this again, take notes, and we're going to provide you with this recipe on our website. Unbelievable. Find Anthony. I'm just going to put this up here. Anthony's Eastside, y'all. You're going to be able to find that on all your social media. Head on over and get you some of this. If you're in the local area, order it up. Sign up for the next party with Anthony. My gosh. Thank you, everybody, for watching with us on Lunch Break Live, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.